Hello and welcome to the channel's most consistent playlist, the account progression update, where every 100 days I upload a video to see how far I've come since the last 100 days. And this time around it felt like it flew by very fast. And before we begin, if you're new here, I'm a free-to-play content creator for Rise of Kingdoms. I've been playing for well over 7 years now, and what separates me from the other free-to-plays and possibly content creators as well is I don't do farms. Like, I'm a free-to-play, I don't do farms. I tried it, it's simply not my thing. And no matter how many people told me, you just log in, you just set out the gatherers. I tried, I can't say I didn't try, but I only use one farm. Most of the people that are really being efficient at this use at least 5 to 6, upwards of 10. And I simply do not like it. I feel like it's much of a burden. The game becomes less of a game, it becomes more like a chore. And ultimately it is a game, and I'm just playing it for the game. And I'm playing it for 7 years, not simply for the game, but for the community that I made over the years with Alliance members and a lot of people that I met throughout all these years, the good and the bad. And recently there's been a lot of drama in the content creation aspects, and I don't know, for me these type of dramas are, some people say they're necessary for the game to keep it alive, but in my opinion that is not the case. If you're playing a game and you want to see drama, then I think you don't have the right priorities in life. So maybe that's just me, maybe I'm the odd minority, but I really don't care. And it's a bit disappointing to see how many people are waiting for these type of videos and content. They want to see behind the scenes, blah blah blah. But for me, you really shouldn't focus on that. But hey, my opinion. And obviously, when you look at the stats, every time this comes around, people are complaining KP is low. I understand, it is low. Especially now with all the pilots going around, people are really looking at the KP, the acclaim. I get that. But for me personally, I've been going through a lot of mistakes. I've been going through a lot of, weird commander investments, such as Sargon, for example. But over the years, you live and learn. And my channel is here to represent my account, my way of thinking, my mistakes. And it's all about entertainment, but also some useful tips, because I believe I have the experience to let people know of some events, how to approach certain things, and I believe I have enough videos to showcase that. Maybe I need to update some of them to be fair, but that's all in all. Overall, I'm very content with my own account. It could have been better, it could have been worse. I've been zeroed a couple times. You live and learn. I've been in leadership pretty much since the first year, so a lot of different aspects in the game, a lot of experience, and I'm just willing to share it on the YouTube scene. And it's working well so far. I really can't complain. But enough of that. In this video, I'm just going to show you everything. So I'm going to show you my VIP level, my skins, my commander, my commanders, my commander pairings, armaments, equipment, resources, pretty much everything I can think of. And I always begin with the VIP. So I'm VIP 17 for a couple of months now. I really like VIP 17, and I have another account right here, and this account is VIP 18, and the VIP 18 is also very noticeable simply because of the true capacity. So true capacity and march speed, of course. So trying to reach VIP 18 would be ideal, but look at this, the price is very steep. And I'm not exactly in a spending alliance, so we never were really a spending alliance, but we have a really great core of players, and I would rather be in this stable group of chill players than being like a high stress spending alliance where you really have to do a lot more work. But that could change. You never know. Maybe we get some more players who might do that, but going off topic here. Next up are the stats. I already showcased this earlier, but highest power. This was in the last KVK. I try to have some fun with my city garrison. I'm gonna show you those reports as well. We got 35 million deaths. I would say it's pretty decent. You know, I was zeros, I believe. Well, almost zeros. I think 2 KVKs ago. Something like that. So it really gave me like a nice way to reapproach the power. When it comes to troops, resources gathered, like I said, I'm only playing one account. So 23.7 billion resources is really not a lot compared to my playtime, but you know, it is what it is. And when it comes to troops, I have a lot of T5s. In the past, before these tech changes, I used to run T4 and also used to run a mix of T4, T5. But now, since the new tech is a bit more approachable when it comes to, you know, troop capacity and special concoctions to reduce the T5 healing, I'm only using full T5s from now, and I cannot complain. I feel like it's the stronger choice, but obviously it takes a lot more toll on the resources. So I'm currently close to 5 million troops. I would say that's a pretty hefty number, considering I do have now a city garrison. So if you look at the commander view, I got the meta commanders. Like, these two commanders are really what you want to have, regardless of your troop type. And then the rest here are just, you know, Matthias for the city garrison, Achilles for forts, nothing too crazy. And quick look at the city skins, because I do not have many. I only have like a couple that I use, and I use the KVK one, Universal Troop Defense, really good. Really what you only really need if you're like a regular fielder. You don't need a Zedit skin. You just get the 6 coins, you get this troop defense. It's great. You can use it in even the damage barbarians is useful when you're entering Lost Kingdom. You don't have those you don't have those buffs, the past glory buffs, which gives you more damage. All that's good stuff. But I also bought this one for 6 coins because I had a lot of these coins that were unused. Never use it, but I do have like a mini siege march that I can utilize this, but it's just for fun. We got the infantry defense, pretty standard. We got the archer defense that I use for chaining. We got the famed Twilight Falls, which was really popular back, I would say back 2 to 3 years ago. And that's about it when it comes to city skins. I'm pretty happy with this one. Zenith is not my thing. I'm not pushing Zenith. I don't think I've pushed Zenith once in all of my years of playing, and I don't intend to do it now, because I'm, like I said, this is good enough for me. Now, when it comes to the recent change where they, you know, they remove the production tokens, and they get the production tokens. I did get a lot of resources back, which I didn't expect. So this is usually what I spent in a KVK. So it's like 2 billion each, 1 billion gold. That gives me around, I don't know, 13 to 15 million kills on average, depending on the opponent, depending on the KVK format. But it just gives you enough to get all the baseline rewards that I really need. And I don't really need the coin for the 30 million. But I'm a lot more objective based. Like, if there's a good objective, I will fight. But if we manage to burn something, or, you know, push, or there's a ceasefire, I immediately lose interest, because I don't really fight for KP. Like, I don't have that pilot mindset where I have to grind KP all day, all night, just to get the acclaim. Like, that's just not my approach, and I'm not willing to change it. So I know a lot of people will always bash, you know, or accuse of not having enough KP, but like I said, I don't really care about it. And when it comes to speed ups, well, I'm closing down to 2 years of universal speed ups. We skipped the KVK registration, so we might have another one. Looking at what we might be getting next, it's not looking too great. We were looking for Siege of Orleans, but looks like it's not going to happen this time. But we will see. Still to be determined. What else? equipment we're gonna show. Yes, so I mentioned this in my previous video. I mentioned in a post. Hoard as many of these 2 items as you can. Pincer 2 is coming soon, and the event that follows should be soon after that. We don't know the exact date yet, but I would say it's really recommended for you to have as many of these as you can. And I already showed you the sources there, and I won't spend too much time on that. So we got troops, we got VIP. Now the marches. So the marches are as follows. So we got 5 archers, 1 archer, 2 infantry, 1 cavalry, and 1 infantry march as well, but more like a support infantry march. And looking at Pincer 2, it's going to be a very expensive switch. We don't know how good the Pincer 2 will be compared to Pincer 1. Part of me wants to believe that the Pincer 2 is going to be more rally and garrison related, but I wouldn't really bank on that. But we shall see. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. And when it comes to actual gear, so we got Sun Tzu. This is my best infantry gear. We got the crit hammer, we got the tier 5 pants and boots, we got crit drum, we got tier 5 hope cloak, and I'm pretty happy. Of course. It's not I got enough blueprints to make this tier 5, so I'm making this tier 5. Along the way, it's quite expensive from mob to mob, but you know, I'll get there. It's just a matter of material and time. And when it comes to armaments, yeah, it's 3 specials and 1 basic inscription. I believe we won't need to switch to Pincer 2 when you have a basic inscription, so I'm probably gonna focus on making this better when it comes to using those transportation stones for the event. When it comes to the talent build, I'm going for the march speed build on my infantry. March speed is really king, and you really can't go wrong with that. Even if you might lose some extra utility or stats, march speed is really necessary. So that's the build that I'm using for Sun Tzu. We got the cavalry. Cavalry being pretty standard. Tier 5 pants, crit pants, quite easily attainable from the Lost Kenneth shop. We got the crit horn, because it's a combo cavalry, so I want to have the insta proc to get the rage engine started, as well as with the drums. As for our 1 cavalry march, Arthur Achilles for me does solid. I cannot complain, it's working. We might see how the new cavalry comes on. If it doesn't really outperform this, I'll probably stick with this cavalry march, because I do intend to work on 2 new infantry commanders. So 1 is garrison and 1 is field. So my initial plan is to work on both of those commanders. So I need a lot of sculptures for that. Now when it comes to the armaments, probably the best set of armaments that I have is on my cavalry march. And it also has a lot to improve as well, which is very encouraging. But all in all, quite happy with this march as well. I can't complain. A talent build, yeah, I'm going for the impenetrable for Achilles, so I can have more skill activations on my way out. And yeah, it's pretty standard, I would say. I would say this is not really a controversial build at all. Then we got the best commander in the game. We got the QSH. I got the full dragon set. I got the ring and pendant, so maximum DPS. We got the tier 5 crit boots, so I got the maximum amount of march speed that I could from this guy. And yeah, I don't really need to spend too much time with this dude. He's just too good. And we got the wedge 2 armaments. Ah yeah, my bad. I didn't overwrite this. So we got this one. Advantage is really good for QSH, like really good. Hunters, I feel like, is more like a rally based, which, you know, reinforces my point where maybe Pincer 2 is going to be similar to Hunter, where, you know, you're doing a lot more single target damage, for example, compared to Advantage. advanced. Then we got Soar. Soar is also a really good inscription. I really like this for QSH. Then we got the usual assertive. I really like this inscription overall because it feels like easy 2% all damage. There's no requirements, no prerequisites. You just have to be on the map. And that's QSH. The talent build. So talent build, I use, rejuvenate, no feral nature. I go for the full whistling arrows. Solid, like you can't go wrong with this build. Even if you use QSA, YSG or ZL or even Alp, like Chin just carries it. Like it doesn't even matter. And then finally, actually not finally, we got Philip, which is my support, but at the same time my city garrison setup. So we got the leadership 4 piece, we got 2 tier 5 infantry pieces which are going to make tier 5. Probably this KVK because it's easy to do and it gives me a lot of good stats which I could use for city garrison on the field as well, make this a lot more tankier, more faster. And last KVK, it was really like a revelation to me because I used my setup finally in an army group situation, and I noticed where I use this march in particular that the marches in my control are just firing off like crazy because I do have a lot of rage engine going on in my overall lineup, which makes in turn the other marches in my lineup, in my army group lineup, really pop off. So I'm really proud of my choice here because it gives me a lot more purpose to my way of thinking and the way I approach the game because I want to win. And winning is, more skill activation of the field, being able to clean out the enemy ball, being able to swarm, being able to control the field. And this march, obviously, it doesn't do as much damage, but I feel like it does just enough to make it more sustainable because I feel like the output is not in the damage it brings or the reports that it produces, but the overall impact, and I really notice it. So for me, I intend to use this march even with the new infantry. Maybe I will replace Scipio, but Scipio is really good as well because of the health debuff. I can't really complain about this. But like I said, I'm pretty happy. I got the civilized. Really do not regret this choice at all. I really notice it. And influential reader is just for the attack, nothing too crazy, but still everything is being done with purpose, and I like to see that. And then finally, my second pincer march. This is the 4-piece infantry set for the march speeds. This one's probably the least impressive when it comes to tiering up. I'm trying to get the boots because I feel like the boots are the most important thing. Then is the weapon, and then you can make your choices for that to replace. But it's pretty solid. Once again, with the armaments as well, it's looking pretty solid as well. Got a lot of all damage here, and in my previous KVK I used BQ Wallace. This time around I'll try out the BQ LC and Sun Tzu Wallace just to see how it does in comparison. And finally we got the city garrison, and it did okay. Actually did better than I expected, because when you see Attila coming at you and you have Matthias YSG on the wall, it's usually not something that you feel too confident. But this is just a work in progress. It will continue to be improved over time, especially with the new infantry coming out probably by the end of the year. This should be improved. But for just to bridge the picture, this was my imprisoned. I was double imprisoned but also exiled, which I take more damage, so this was the rally. And if I just a second earlier I shielded, this would probably be even a lot better report. I probably wouldn't even get any deaths, but you live and learn. It was a cool experience. I managed to capture it on my phone I really didn't expect to be rallied, but you know, it just happened. And this was the first rally. So the first rally really hurt. Like the first rally, it hurt because I was imprisoned and I didn't even have War Frenzy, but I wanted to see how it performs. And credit to this dude, he was quite strong. But the second time around, I feel like I did a lot better. So, all in all, let's see if I missed anything. So we got the VIP, we got the troops, we got the back, we got the lineup. Well, I should maybe put my Canyon lineup. Like Canyon is pretty okay. I just use Constantine. Everything else is pretty much the same. I use BQ Constantine just for the tankiness. And when it comes to commanders overall, I do have a lot of expertise commanders over time. And I do have like a siege march, I forgot to mention, but I haven't used it in a couple of KVKs. It's just there if I want to. It's not maxed. It's a 5551 Gaja with 5511 Gonzalo with the gathering equipment. Let me see, where is the gathering equipment? Yeah, here it is. So gathering equipment, nothing crazy here, just extra stats, but to the march speed as well. It's just a fun project that I did. So you can see over the years, I tried a lot of different things. I tried ranged, I'm trying now city garrisons, I'm trying support marches. And I'm just having fun playing the game. Like, I'm not too obsessed with KP. I admit I could get more KP, but the amount of time that I spent farming and you know playing, I would say I'm exactly where my effort is. Like, am I spending too much effort trying to get as many resources as I could? Not really. Could I do that? Yeah, but will that make it more fun for me? Probably not. Like, it would just push me away from the game more than it will bring me in, and I feel like that's more important. You know, could be me. I'm not in those competitive KVKs, and maybe that's for the better. Like, I don't really want to have too much time dedicated, like whole day playing, whole night of playing. Like, I have some things to do. I'm not a full-time content creator, so there's time and a place for every activity, and I feel like rock is one of them. And oh yes, sculptures. So that's the only thing that I forget to mention. But I already did mention that my plan is probably to try to save up as many sculptures as I can for the new infantry. We got new cavalry coming out probably in September at the earliest, which then leaves, you know, around November, December for infantry. I currently have just under 400 sculptures. If I want to have 2 commanders maxed, I need 1,000 more. So that probably leaves me just enough time to not spend not even a single sculpture elsewhere. And I think that will do that. You know, new cavalry might be really good, but that's the price you have to pay sometimes for your own account. It is what it is. And on that note, let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate all the good comments, but also appreciate any constructive criticism. But if you're here to bash people, like, not really my thing, you can make those comments as well. Just know I will also, you know, reply in that same manner. So everyone is welcome to their opinion. If you want to know about the more RT channel, you can click in the description. There's a lot more playlists. And yeah, I see you guys in the next upload.